that we have scaled our image to the right size, we can begin tracing it in Illustrator, okay? So this is kind of a little bit remedial. This is what we did last week, but we didn't really do it to scale. I just wanted you to kind of get to know how to do this. So we are going to do this to scale this time. So I've opened up Illustrator and I'm going to press Create New. So the image that I sized up was 30 inches by 20 inches, and that's what you need to do. You need to make it the exact same size. It's just going to be a 1-to-1 scale, okay? So yours will probably be a different size, and that's fine, but mine is 30 inches by 20 inches. Create. Okay, so I have this nice big artboard here, and now I need to place my image onto this artboard, okay? So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Place, okay, and I'm going to click Bodice to Scale, because you remember from the last tutorial, that's what I did. Put Template, click Template, and Place. Okay, there we go. So now we have this, and it's kind of grayed out, which is really nice, that we can work on top of. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did last week. We're going to trace it. Now, here's a handy little trick. As you start tracing it, similar to what we did in Photoshop, you're going to click on this point, and as you go down, you see that Illustrator is going to tell you how long your line is, okay? So this is a great way to just kind of double check your work. Okay, so right at 15 inches, which is exactly where we want to be, okay? So click. Okay, so you see, let's fix that. So what it's doing is it's filling my shape, and that's totally fine. Let's select it, but I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to get rid of that so it's not going to fill my shape, okay? So let's go back to the pen tool, okay? Oh, you know what? I need to adjust this curve. Okay, so I'm going to use the handle to adjust this curve and get it right on the line. You remember I said that it's a little bit easier for me to do it with the handles, and that's just personal preference, okay? Actually, also, it looks like this anchor needs to be pulled down, so I'm going to click it and drag it down. I'm actually going to click it and nudge it down with my arrow keys. Okay, now it looks like it's right on it. All right, back to this handle. And you'll notice I'm using the direct selection tool this time. Okay, if you want to select an individual anchor point or a handle, you need to use this selection tool. Okay, if you want to select the whole object, you use that selection tool. Okay, so let's go back to the pen tool. I'm going to click to this point. All right, this looks like it kind of curves a little bit twice here, so I'm going to shift click and get a nice curve there. Oh, that one's right on the money. Okay, awesome. All right, then I'm going to click, get another. Ooh, that's ugly. Delete that. Click, shift click, and again, you see I kind of had trouble with that one, so I got to go back in with the handles. Just adjust that curve, especially these subtle curves. They're a little bit harder to get on the path, okay? Back to my pen tool, click, click, and then shift, click, whoop, okay? Again, a little too much. You can easily just get that right up there, okay? So I've outlined that. Now I'm going to quickly do the rest of it. Okay, click off, click, come down to the path, click. Let's get this here. And again, remember, you can be checking this along the way, but we know this is the right size because we've sized it up in Photoshop. We've double checked everything. So everything should be a 1-to-1 scale, okay? So now, let's look at this. All right, this looks good. So I'm going to show you a little trick here, okay? I'm going to click this outside path here, which is the outline. So I'm going to select this with the selection tool, not the direct selection tool, with the selection tool. A lot of people call it the big selection tool. I think that's a reference to an older version of Illustrator. So if I ever say that, that's what I'm talking about. So I've selected this path. I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Path, and I'm going to go down to Offset Path. Now, and this is going to come up, and I'm going to click 0.25 and press OK. So the reason I do this is this gives me a seam allowance, okay? And you can make it as big or small as you want, but I like just a nice 0.25. It looks like I have a little weird thing in there, but that's okay. I'm just kind of showing you how this is done. Okay, so you've got this line here, you've got this path, offset path here, and now I want to move this, okay, onto another image. So again, I want to group these, get these together so that I can move it. All right, and that's the last thing I'll show you in this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, and I'm going to shift click, shift click, shift click. So now everything is selected, okay? I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to click Make Compound Path, okay? So now, when I move this around, it's going to move it all as one object, okay? And that's going to be helpful as you move forward, okay? So that is the second part of this tutorial, and we'll get back with the third in just a bit. Thanks, bye.